Hi guys, it's Melly Starz with another episode of Melly's Couch, and this week I have a man of many talents. You've probably already seen him. He performed at my rap party, so we had to bring him to the couch so he could have his own little sit down. So he's an MC, producer, sound engineer, DJ, promoter, radio host, battle rapper, graphic designer, and so much more. Epik1.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, I know, fake claps.
Fake claps.
I want to start with a quote that says, "My music is my graffiti. I do it for those who can read it."
Yeah.
Explain that quote to me or to the people.
Okay. A graffiti artist, which is one of the elements, my first element of hip hop that I got into. Like, a lot of people, they're like, "Oh, so you're an artist? Oh, I can't wait till you make it big,
Yeah.
And I have to explain it to them, like, they think that success is measured by money or fame,
Numbers.
Numbers, exactly. But in reality, a graffiti artist is out here risking their liberty, their record, their future. Basically, they're throwing away a lot of things just for, I wouldn't even say the main public, but other artists that can read the graffiti to look at it and say, "Oh yeah, I know what he did there."
Mm-hmm.
Well, that must have been a tough spot for him to climb, or him or her to climb, because there's also that artist to climb, or the style that they put in, the colors that they use. Other artists know the sacrifices that are made, so the general mass is not involved. My crew, Underpaid Productions, is now, I formed it to be IFU. IFU, it's for us. And there's this artist scheme in this movie, in this documentary, called Style Wars, and he explains it perfectly. He's like, I don't care about he's talking to, like, his mom is talking to him, and they're asking him why he does go buck wild on the streets. He's like, for people to see you. He's like, and he says, I don't care about other artists.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about the general mass looking at my stuff. I don't care about them. It's for us. It's for artists like us.
Yeah.
So that's why, another reason, I changed it to IFU crew. So it's Underpaid Production. It's still got the U in it. It's for us, And so that's why my music is like graffiti.
Yeah.
I don't care about people. If you don't understand it, cool. It's not made for everybody to understand. But if you appreciate it there's people that look at graffiti and look at it from a far distance, like, hey, that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to look at it like close up, and I'm like, how did they do this? Like, I'm like, and then especially when it's in like weird places.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did you get up there? How did you do that?
Yeah.
You risked your life for sure.
Yeah. I've risked my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the structure of today's episode is going to be a little different,
mm-hmm.
because you provided an autobiography,
mm-hmm.
and you have all of the chapters. So I'm going to go through all of the chapters, and at the end, I'm going to add my own chapters. So we're going to start, obviously, with chapter 1. You almost ended up in New York,
mm-hmm.
but your parents chose Chicago,
mm-hmm.
specifically Ukraine Village, I believe.
Yeah.
Which was, there's a lot of drugs, gang violence
at the time.
At the time,
uh-huh.
But like, you kind of found solace in like drawing.
Mm-hmm.
So what really made you pick up like drawing? Like, what was it about drawing that was like, hey, this is my happy place?
Oh, man, I remember being in preschool, and then like somebody telling me, no, you have to draw, you have to color in the lines, and just, I'm like, I'm gonna show you that I'm really good at this. And from there, it just kind of picked up. And since I would say first grade and up, like, I would just want to draw my favorite cartoons and all that stuff, and just, I really focused in. I really zoned in on it. And as a kid, I wanted to be an artist. I thought I could be the next Picasso and whatnot.
Yeah.
I actually ended up going to the Art Institute.
Yeah, the Art Institute.
Yeah, and that's how I got introduced to graffiti. So, but yeah, just instead of being focused on school, I guess my ADD kicked in.
Yeah.
And all I wanted to do was sit there and just draw all the time, draw all day.
You got in trouble for it, I'm assuming. The teachers
Yeah,
were not too happy.
Yeah,
you were drawing on desks.
You can't get away with drawing on desks and drawing on things all the time. So kids, do focus and
draw in your notebooks, not on the desk. Okay, the bottom of the picture. So your first album, or hip hop album, I guess, was Nas and the Posse, that you borrowed from a friend, and then your dad broke.
Yeah, NWA and the Posse. Yeah.
And NWA and the Posse. So I tried super hard to get that album, and I couldn't to replace it. So I got this was as close.
Oh no, that was.
This is as close as I could get.
Wow, that right there, that one. That was the same year that these sneakers dropped. The same year, 91. That was a epic year for me, for real. Like that was a dope time.
So this is as close as I could get.
Yeah.
For you.
I want to see if I'm right. Was it 91? Well, I need my glasses. But take my word, I think it's 91.
Let me see if I can find it. Let's see where it is. Oh, geez, Louise.
Yeah.
I need a microscope.
It's got to be 91 or 90.
1991 Priority Records.
See? 91. Yeah.
There you go. I was.
No, actually, these gym shoes dropped in 89. So,
the year I was born.
But yeah, definitely, this was a great year for hip hop. Oh, this is the year the Jordan 6 dropped, and when the Bulls won their first championship. That's why this is special to me as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't do too bad.
No, that was great.
I tried looking for NWA and the Posse, and it was just like
correction.
It's hard to find.
Yeah.
But I know that was like your first album. Did your friend ever like?
So no, he came. My friend came to my house.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rafa. That was back in Mitchell School and he came to my door. He actually came to my door. He's like, está Epik? Is Eric here? I need my tape. And I had to give him the tape. But we went to Buyer's Flea Market on Division back in the day. And I ended up grabbing my own copy of it. And then that's the one my dad broke. That's the one he broke.
Okay.
That's the one he broke.
Okay.
He broke that. Yeah. So, I guess that's how Mexican my Mexican dad handled it. It's like, I still broke it.
What does your dad say about like where you are now? Like that you're still so immersed in like hip hop.
Yeah. I didn't know it was hip hop at the time. I thought it was rap.
It was just rap. A lot of people don't realize there's a difference between rap and hip hop. I remember in middle school, I like had a project and I was doing it, and I was I'm like, no, rap and hip hop, and people are like, but it's the same thing. I'm like, no, it's so different.
Yeah.
I got butchered at school for that argument. So.
No, I think that if it was another genre, like alternative music, like you don't call everything rock music. Like there's alternative rock, there's metal, but in hip hop, or rap music, there's only two things. It's rap or hip hop. It's so bad.
Yes.
It's so bad. That's why I don't even call myself hip hop no more. I just say I'm boom bap. I'm boom bap. You know?
I feel like even now today though, there's so many subgenres that they've been creating little by little.
Yeah.
Not happy with all of the subgenres. Like mumble rap is not a subgenre that I'm too proud of, but
it's what they want. As long as they buy it, you buy it, you're supporting it, so buy what you like, I guess, ultimately.
Yeah, exactly. Another major influence for you was Too Short.
Too Short, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about like his influence.
Oh yeah, I was a little kid. I was. This is around this time, 89. That's why it's significant of me wearing these sneakers. It was all about this time, like, as long as you curse, and it was the 80s, and everything was love songs, a lot of love songs at the time, and so
freestyle, all of that, like
freestyle, house music, B96 house music, and everybody was into house music. And when I heard cursing on like, oh my gosh, they could just say this stuff. You could actually, and I wasn't a gangbang. I wasn't into gangbang or anything, but I was like Dennis the Menace, you know, kind of like getting myself into trouble. And I was like, yeah, you could curse, and there's cursing involved. That was just next level. And I was with that, you know. So I was with that. The beats were dope. Too Short, you know, talking about, you know, he was very derogative, and he's a womanizer now. As a kid, I know better. You know? But at the time, you know, it was just exciting to me as a kid. You know, it was a time of just the 80s. It was free spirited, and I was with that. And you know, Too Short taught me things at an early age. NWA taught me certain things, you know, but reality is that it was just so out of the norm that it was exciting, just because it was just different. It was so different, that it was exciting. And you also used to draw like covers of rap albums. Did you ever do Too Short or NWA? No, I didn't do Too Short.
What did you do?
I did Ghetto Boys, the one where he gets shot in the eye and he has the patch. I did that one.
Okay.
Mind Playing Tricks on Me. I did LL Cool J, Mama Said Knock You Out album.
Oh, that's a classic.
I did that one. Those two primarily. There might have been some other ones, but those are the ones that notably stick into my head. Later on, like with Mario Paint, I did The Roots. Do You Want More album cover. But just it was fun at the time. Really
another
fun.
way for you to kind of combine like the drawing and the music together.
Exactly.
Recreating covers. It's a different, unique way to do it, right?
Yeah, and when I found out that graffiti is influenced by hip hop, and I was like, what?
It's a rap after that.
Literally a rap.
Literally a rap.
Yeah.
Another part in chapter 1 is you were working with or something with DJ Twilight on W.
Oh no. I would as a kid, how I got introduced to a lot of rap music at the time. We had the boom boxes and radios so you could record on tape.
Tape.
Yeah, in case you guys don't know. Yeah, so you could put on the radio station and record what was happening at the time. And Saturday nights, Twilight Tone on WGCI, they used to have this Saturday or Friday, I forgot what night, mix, and it would go on from like midnight to like whatever, 2, 9, 10 to midnight, or 10 to 2, I forgot, something like that. And it was just that. And for a person that at the time, you know, I didn't have money to buy tapes or anything, or CDs, or no, there was no CDs at the time. It was just tapes.
It was just
tapes and records. So I would record it and just always wonder, who is this person that I just recorded? I really like this song. Particularly, there's this one, I was so happy when I found the record as a DJ, Downtown Science, Room to Breathe. When I was just like, man, this sounds amazing. Yeah. This sounds so amazing. This is a sound. This is a sound that I really like. And so when I heard stuff like that, I didn't know what was hip hop. I didn't know what was rap. But I would also get influenced by whatever was out on the commercial. I was a kid, you know, Crisscross, you know, Jump, whatever was out, you know, out down with OPP, you know, everything that was out. I was with that, you know, but also getting into deeper cuts at the time because I was introduced to that through that radio show.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So it was like an influence. I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't think he was working that that young. It's not in chapter 1.
No. Yeah.
But you are a DJ, or you have DJed before. That was kind of another aspect. So I found a few things that you DJ'd. Summertime hip hop vibes. Then I don't know exactly. I need a little clarity on this one. The world record for longest FM radio Christmas hip hop mix.
Self-proclaimed.
Okay, I was like, huh?
But, yeah,
because it was like over 3 hours. I think.
Yeah. So, I try to look for the longest hip hop mix, Christmas mix. I couldn't find it on YouTube or anything like that. If you guys know it, well, cool. Because I have more stuff to add to the archive. Maybe next year I'll break the record and do 4 hours, but I'll just be repeating a lot of songs. So I do a radio show on WLUW on 88.7 FM Sundays at 9 p.m. called Kicks and Snares, formerly Crucial Rhythms with DJ System 4. And I just try to compile the most hip hop songs. Yeah. Like there's or even then rap songs, but more so hip hop songs.
I didn't know there was that many Christmas songs.
I had no clue, and I added one to the pile this year of my own personal. Yeah. This would be and I had one previously on my second album.
The hip hop Christmas, right?
Hip hop Christmas, yeah. With featuring Swag One, and I just try to do it, and the hard part about it is of doing that radio show is not only the skills it takes to DJ and put it all together, is to clean up the stuff for the radio station to make it FCC friendly, and they're not with that. Try cleaning up Merry Effing Christmas by Eazy-E, and see how fun that is.
By Eazy-E is crazy. Yeah, that's
yeah.
That is a task.
Yeah, but I don't really do too much like parties and stuff. Back in the day, I used to, because DJs weren't readily available like that, and so. But yeah, I'd be like, I only got hip hop records. Yeah, I don't know, rap records. I don't know what y'all want to do. If you want me to do it, I'll do it.
Yeah. But it's gonna be a hip hop set.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hip hop set. Yep.
Yeah.
I never got into it. I never got into DJing because I wanted to be that famous DJ or to do it for the clout or anything like that. I did it because I used to breakdance and I wanted to do the freshest tapes ever, and that just transformed into that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna bring up Kicks and Snares next, but you already.
My bad.
Got there. You already did it. My bad. But you made a controversial statement online. Yeah, you did, allegedly.
Okay.
Controversial.
It's cool. I like that.
If you want DJs to play your music, make sure you have 8 bars of intro/outro. Do you still feel the same?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Because the comment section.
Props to Melly for bringing that up, because people were like really going in, and I'm like, no man, as a DJ, I'm telling you straight up, or give me your instrumental version of your song. Yeah. Your instrumental versions are definitely due. Why do you think they make instrumental album, the versions on the single? So you can freestyle over them? No, so you can make it more DJ friendly. They buy 2 copies of your single. That way, back in the day when there was no stem separation and stuff like that.
All this new technology.
Yeah, so you would take it and, it'd be easier to blend, because a lot of times, even myself, I'll go straight into the rap part, or I'll have a little intro and then start rapping. Yeah. And as a DJ, you need enough bleed room to blend into another song. So I just wanted to let people know, the more if you could make it more, if you could make it DJ friendly, by adding a couple 4-8 bars ahead and in the tail, that would make it a lot easier. I through doing the radio show, I scoured through lots of music, and you don't know how many times I run into a song that's so dope. I'm like, oh man, I want to play this. Yeah. And guess what? I can't, because there's just it's not DJ friendly enough. Like doesn't have enough of the elements that I need so I can blend it with another song. Of course, I can scratch it in, people said, if you're a good DJ, you're a good DJ, you can scratch it in. Of course I can scratch it in. But do I really want to scratch it in? Would I rather have a nice polished, blend, transition? Yeah, exactly. And so it's one of those things. And, on the internet, on social media, people are going to bash you for certain things. And you know what? Hey, that's your opinion. Ultimately, cool. I got you. My only thing about that is, where do you pop up when I do something about my music? You know what I'm saying? If you're that low key guy or woman or person, why don't you pop up for the other stuff? You only pop up when it's convenient for you to pop up. Pop up. Why don't you pop up? Leave a comment on this video. You know what I'm saying? So pop up.
I just wanted to see if the controversy got to you and made you change your mind, but you're standing on business. So now, chapter 2. Your parents bought a house in the Brickyard area in the 90s. This is also when you were at you had the scholarships to the Art Institute, which kind of talked about. And then in high school, you were street bombing graffiti. And then this is where you kind of got the Epik1 name.
No, I ran through a lot of names in graffiti. My first one, I had Away. Yeah, was one that I stuck around with for a while.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, YEAH. And then I knew my name is Eric. That's my real name. And then when I saw the word Epik, I saw how close it was to Eric. And then I was like, yeah, this is my name. There was another Epik though at the time, and this is another thing, a controversy of how many Epiks there's been.
Yeah, I was gonna.
You want to save that?
No, I was gonna ask it now.
Okay.
The controversy. There's quite a few Epiks.
Hold the thought though of the question, because I'm kind of like, So basically, there was an Epik. The first Epik I ever knew, he was from K4P crew, and basically, I just decided after, I'm like, I'm gonna write this name too, and straight up broke the rules. And but now the way I see it, you want to call yourself Epik, as a artist, go ahead, be my guest. You know what I'm saying? But to be this Epik is to pay your dues in all the elements of hip hop and then some. I battle rap another Epik. Go pay your dues. You could be the Epik of whatever element you choose, but to be this Epik and to be Epik for so long, pay your dues. Then we'll see who's Epik. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, it doesn't, like, the name is the name. You know what I'm saying? But what defines my name is the work that I put behind the name. So
a lot of work, and again, it's not just in one field. Like you've touched so many different elements that it's like you're Epik. Like,
thank you.
Chapter 3.
There were some questions though before that. I didn't even get to.
Okay.
I trailed off.
You did. Okay. We talked about your parents buying a house.
Yeah.
The Art Institute.
Yeah.
Oh, street bombing.
Yeah. I do want to talk about street bombing. So bombing is the act of going buck wild, and we used to hit up the buses a lot when I went to Steinmetz, and we used to hit up walls, because the northwest side of Chicago. This is one thing I want to focus on, is that, like, the Brickyard area. You talk about other areas like Common blew up the south side for hip hop, and you got west, Twista and all with the west side of Chicago, but the northwest side is like an untold story, and there's no trains over there. The train system doesn't rock over there, so it cuts off at Logan Square. So what we do is a lot of trains and a lot of walls. So street bombing was the way that you got up in that neighborhood, like going nuts on streets, So I respect street bombers a lot, just because the fact that I know all the work that they had to put in, without cars at the time too.
So can you compare like street bombing and like when you were doing it to like now?
Oh, there's still street bombing now. It's just now it's just you have many ways to get around, or as you get older, there's more ways to get around. Back in the day, it was bikes, bus, walking, and but yeah, just walking around and being slick about it. You're going from one place and you're on foot. When I was a kid, or young adult, you're on foot going. And you just hit up a spot over here, and you're walking down some miles down, you could be spotted. Oh, there's a guy in a red jacket, and the chances of getting caught are extreme, because All
Yeah,
they need
because
to do is follow your trail,
yeah,
follow your trail,
yeah.
follow your foot patrol, and follow your tracks.
Yeah, because back then you guys kind of just had to carry everything on you.
Yeah, you had to carry it. Yeah,
figure it out.
We didn't have nobody I didn't have anybody that knew had a car and we could just do hop outs like they do now.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Now they're like, oh, you don't have to carry it, or if you do, you carry it in the car, not like so obvious.
Yeah, yeah. The difficulties of being a young kid at the time and trying to get away with stuff.
trying. So how was like your time at the Art Institute? Because I don't think you really talked too much about it. Like you say, you know, you kind of, I've noticed in interviews you say you got a scholarship and you went. Yeah. But
how was it?
Yeah, like how was it? What did you learn?
So I went to Mitchell School, and then around 7th grade, there was a art teacher, and she saw that I had some skills, and she got me a scholarship, and I went in. I used to have to take the bus by myself, you know, at the time, which was cool, you know, but I would go and I'd see, like, taking the train, public transportation, just seeing, you know, different scribing on the bus, and just I was more awake to the street art. And then people would always in my school come up to me like, yo, you draw good, but look at this.
Yeah.
And once I saw graffiti art, I was just like, oh man, forget realistic art, forget all that. This is more exciting to me. And so I started paying more attention to that and wanting to get into that. And then I started focusing on that. They weren't teaching graffiti art at the Art Institute at the time. So my mind switched to that, and I kind of, once I figured out it was hip hop, that kind of trailed off to that. But I used to do a lot of charcoal. I used to do a lot of pencil obviously was my main thing. Pencil, pen, because drawing all day in school. But when I saw how good people could paint actually there, I got intimidated. Oh. Yeah, I really did get intimidated. That was part of the reason I was like, nah, these guys are next level. Nobody ever taught me how to paint. Right, you know, painting. So
you were kind of like self-taught to that, up to that point.
Yeah, I was self-taught. I mean, I went there, I did learn some stuff, but ultimately at the end, you know, drawing with pencil and painting are two different things. With oil, acrylic, it's a lot. It's a different ball game, and so I kind of leaned more to graffiti art.
Okay. Okay. So I think we can move to chapter 3 now.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
I think we covered all the other ones. Gotcha. This is when you kind of were introduced to breakdancing by Mookie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never knew what happened to that cat too. I wasn't doing good at school because I just wasn't. My mind wasn't in there.
You were drawing.
My mind was somewhere else. I was on another planet.
Yeah, literally.
So I went to summer school for my freshman year at Steinmetz, and then there was this dude, Mookie, from another school, and he's like, became cool, and he's like, yo, I could break. He showed me that he was breakdancing. I'm like, yo, do that. You know, I want to see how it's done. And so this guy, I was so impressed. I was just so impressed, and he actually sat down or taught me some couple things, and then I go to my friend Epik1 and just be like, yo, look at this, you know, and like, and then we all just gravitated towards that. Yeah. And like he's more I call him Spider-Man. He could do a bunch of athletic abilities. And then as school started in the sophomore year, I got to know who the breakdancers were, and there was my boy Dave, Super Dave at the time. He's Abu Shai now. So Abu Shai, aka Super Dave, yo, he was the best breakdancer in the whole school, and he would actually show us some things, but we would actually teach ourselves by renting Beat Street in the breakdance battle, and just frame by frame with a VCR, seeing how they do that and just imitating what they would do. You kids are so lucky with YouTube.
Oh my gosh,
so lucky.
So spoiled.
But it's good because it elevated the form. It's like if you can't do like 90s now, like one of the hardest moves, it's like you can't do anything anymore, you know. So
yikes.
Yeah.
Then you were part of the Chicago Skywalkers.
Yeah, that was the crew we started
with Dave and Jesse.
Jesse, Epik1, and High C. We had yeah, we were all into it, and it was dope. My boy Ray's too. It was we'd break dance in my basement.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's cool.
we had the cardboard. There's some pictures. Shout out to my boy Bang, as well. We used to just do that. Just to try, or at least attempt to do it.
At least tried.
At least try to do it, and then there'd be like little daytime parties where we'd go and try to bust our moves out. Yeah. So that's the crew we started, Skywalkers, and yeah, it was fun times.
Well, what happened to Skywalkers?
Oh, we started getting high and everything. Just yeah.
We're gonna go into that.
Smoking weed and a lot of that, So, but still, I was still at that time though. We would go. What was cool about it? This is, I have to say, it's like 1995, around that time, and we would go to hip parties. We used to call the Chill. Ange 13 had this Chicago.
The Chill. Okay.
The Chill Chicago hip hop information line.
Yeah, that you would call.
Yeah.
To see about getting like where the events or whatever we're at. Yeah.
She had a voicemail. She was doing mad service for hip hop. So big up to Ange, and that's how we knew about the parties that were going on at the time. And we'd go in and break dance. By that point, we were a little better. I was a little better, but obviously, there's people that, some people that are just naturally talented at breakdancing. Yeah.
But at least you did it.
Yeah, we got to explore that time of hip hop in '95. Yeah. It was awesome.
I think that was a good time to be exploring as well, like the breakdancing and all of that stuff. And tell me about B-Boy Ray hip hop event that you did.
Oh yeah, so that transcends, right? So there was a spot. We weren't 21 at the time. Shout out to B-Boy Ray. He used to have this spot. It was called Ray's Place. It's Gramophone Records.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, not Gramophone Records. No. Dusty Grooves.
Okay.
Dusty Grooves is a record store that's by Division in Ashland, which I'm so honored to have my previous releases there. And I would talk to I think his name is Doug, that one of the workers there. I'm like, we used to throw hip hop. There was hip hop parties here. So Ray used to throw these underground like hip hop parties, like raves, you could say. And we weren't old enough. Yeah, we weren't old enough to drink, but we would find a way to get liquor and go smoke weed and break dance, and then ciphering. There was people like freestyling.
Yeah.
And that's when I started testing my skills for freestyling. Shout out to Ray's Place, because that was fundamental for me to be into hip hop now, like the levels that I had to go through. It's the stomping grounds, and that place was so special to me. Yeah.
So now chapter 4.
Chapter 4. How many chapters are there?
I don't know. You sent me your bio. How many chapters did you write?
There's like 50, 60. All right, we got to keep it moving. Sorry. I'll try to answer these faster.
This was the era of the pause mixtapes, where you mixed a bunch of different songs. I think your first records were like Living Proof.
Yeah.
And then you learned to DJ by standing by the booth and watching around in this chapter.
Yeah. So I would grab tapes, and record them with 2 tape decks, one to play the song, and at a certain point, that would be a nice little like point. I'd stop it and then bring in another song and then re-record. So it'd be pause, play, pause, record, pause, play, pause mixtapes. And I really enjoyed doing it, and for my crew, for breakdancing. And I was like, I got the new tape. And we always used to jam to it. And I started getting more serious. And a friend of mine, Frankie, from high school, and he was a DJ, a house DJ. But I was like, how do you guys do it? How do you scratch? And he's like, you got to buy records. And I was like, and I had at that time invested a lot of money. I used to save up my lunch money to buy these tapes. And I was like, what? I have to get rid of these, and I get rid of these tapes. I have to transition all these to record. Yeah. So then I had my first Gemini.
Yeah, your Gemini
turntables that got stolen.
Then your 1200.
And then that they thought, as DJ Quick says, the lines like, they broke into try to steal my shit. They thought it'd make me quit, but no. That just actually said, you know what? I'm gonna go and buy Techniques, because I wanted Technique turntables. I used to look at them, and it was like looking at a Ferrari or a Lamborghini at the time. It was just amazing. I used to go to DJ Stick's crib and see his turntables. But so I saved up, I financed them, and at the time they were like $1,200. You know, for and that was like today's time, you know, like almost $6,000. I don't know, it felt like that.
Yeah.
But I had a job at the time. I was working at Kmart. So I was able.
Doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah. So that's what I did. And so, but to learn the skills at Ray's Place and other places, I used to watch DJ Nonstop at Ray's Place, and I stand there behind there and just see how they're doing it and try to remember what they're doing for the scratching, or DJ Third Rail, just see there how they're scratching and see what they're doing. I'm like, why do they use this hand? I was right-handed. I started scratching with my right hand, but once I saw what they were doing, I knew that I had to learn with my left hand. So I had to retrain my brain and to just want to get high, come home and scratch all day. Just lock myself up and scratch all day and try to remember everything that was done.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And then this is when you kind of started making epic beats too?
Yeah, so at the time, So,
and then you still kind of do it now, where you do like lives, and then you like where you're making the beats and you're watching sports. A lot of times you're watching the White Sox.
Yeah. Shout out to the worst team in MLB. But so to backtrack how I started making beats, I used to have this Gemini mixer with a little 6-second sampler in there, and I used to go and while I would buy records at Maxwell Street, aka Jewtown. Okay, I know it's politically incorrect, but
nowadays,
but that's what they called it at the time. Okay, I used to go down there. I used to buy old records, whatever, and just find these little loops and just come up with interesting, dope loops. But there was no drums to it, so then I bought a drum machine and I tried to sync them up, but it didn't work that way until I started hanging out with Individual. He's a rapper from Chicago, Visual now. So his brothers Panic from the Moment. They went to Prosser. They lived by Prosser, which is also around my neck of the woods. And I saw Panic, his Moment crew and his MPC 3000 at the time, and I was like, how do you do this? He's like, yeah, you need to get this machine or something like this because your sequencing is off. And then it was another challenge. Like I just invested in that.
Yeah, I just
again with the records and the tapes. Now I got to reinvest, and so I got into that and then learning how to. And at the time, my first beat machine was the MPC 2000, then the 2000 XL. It had SCSI drives, and it was at the time, it was the best we could do. But it was awesome. It was good times. And then I moved on to the 1000 and then the 2500, and I'm presently using the MPC 1 and the MPC Live, a portable one.
Okay.
So I really enjoy it. I learned how to use the MPC 60 through my boy Daniel too. He's shout out to him. And so, but reality is now I like to just show myself making beats, because there's a lot of production tips that I've learned. And when people just usually show beats, like they already have it pre-made and they're just having fun with the pads. I want to show you the little tricks
from the beginning.
From the beginning. It's boring stuff like to look at for a long time, but as I look back, it's like solving a puzzle in my head. How do I get this sound? I could hear something, and how do I make it sound like this? And going through that process with everybody while adding a little twist, with showing you some sports or battle rapping or whatever it might be. Yeah. Just
whatever you're into at that time.
It's like I feel like we're chilling. Like I let you into my work area, my creativity space, because that's what I'll do usually. I'll just throw on a basketball game or a game. So it's more like you get to lounge and chill with me, So that type of thing.
And then tell me about Hip Hop Don't Stop residency that you've had.
Oh yeah.
That's all.
That's deep. That's deep. She does the homework.
I do my homework.
Hip Hop Don't Stop is a place, residency I had with my boys, Mike Slugs, DJ Slugs now, at Grand Bar. First started by Slugs and Were from J4F crew, and they had it. They were doing it, and then they invited me along, and it was on a Tuesday night, and I've been going to Subterranean. I don't know if we're gonna get into that later on, but
Yeah.
I go to Sub T's and
With
Freestyle.
the fake ID?
Yeah.
That was the next chapter.
She knows her stuff. And so I'd go and bring the MCs afterwards, because there used to be the Blue Note, where we'd go after Subterranean to the Blue Note to Freestyle. But then the Blue Note closed, so we didn't have a spot to go afterwards. And those times were wonderful, you know?
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to give the MCs that extra little spot.
Is this where you were like freestyling like outside of like places during this time too?
Yeah.
Or was that later?
All of that time of, you know, but even more ahead of time, like the early 2000s, we would all hang out in front of Sub T. The real rapping was outside of Sub T's or outside of different places. Whatever venue that had a hip hop show, you'd be outside freestyling and starting ciphers. I was at Sub T at some point last year after an event. And that's what happened. Like after the event, everybody was just outside making music, and I was like, this is the real party. Yeah.
Like, this is
you can smoke weed out there, you know. So it was just that too, you know. It was just like that. So I brought that. Well, they brought me in, and then I brought the MCs in. It lasted for, I don't know, about 2 years. We did bring in some good artists like Lone Catalyst, Binary Star. We did bring in some people. We had Razkaz. We just piggybacked a lot off Subterranean. So shout out to 606 crew, more should I say 606 crew. Yeah. You know, so
that's kind of chapter 5 when you were freestyler MC. You talked about going to Sub T with the fake ID.
With the fake ID, yeah. Yep.
And then you also had like off the top freestyle battles that you were a part of.
Yeah, shout out to Sam I Am, the MC. Yeah, I never won one of those. I came close.
So close.
I got gypped. But
you got gypped. Yeah. Okay.
No, honestly, the competition was fierce and just didn't go my way. It just never pulled my way. Maybe there's another one. I'll keep trying. But
that's all you can do is keep trying.
Yeah.
And then during the pandemic, you did Zoom freestyle sessions.
Yeah.
How was that? Like, it's such a unique concept. How did you come up with that?
It was just fun. It was just like we were all locked in, and I missed, you know, having that connection with people. And I just thought, Zoom? Yeah, why don't we just...
Everybody was on Zoom?
Yeah, why don't we just freestyle on Zoom and figure out how to do this? And that's really what happened. And I went on social media and just said, hey, who can freestyle? Who's down to be a part of this?
Yeah.
And it lasted for about a good year or maybe half a year. And it was really fun. It was really fun, but then it became exhausting at the same time. So
yeah, I'm sure after
organizing
and getting everything in order,
switching my schedule around to make things work. Also, yeah, that was tough, but it was fun. So shout out to all the MCs that did participate in that. Some memorable moments that I'll never forget, for sure.
For sure. Oh, chapter 6, we kind of talked about this. This is when you started making beats and using the samples, your MPC. Then you would go you would take it to go thrifting.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think at some point you said that you had to put like not for sale on it because people kept asking.
Yeah. So I used to go thrifting for records like all the time. So when you buy records or, you know, from a record store, like you'll be lucky if they have a record player that you could go and hear parts of it, you know. And so I had a portable Vestax record player at the time that ran on batteries, and I would just go to the thrift store and just sit there all day. I would also collect for Jabot jeans too, by the way. Yeah, so that's another little side fact that you only get here on Melly's.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
Melly's Couch
I collected Jabot jeans, and I would look for Jabot jeans and records. So So I would go and just pull a stack of records. It's like unlimited supply. And why am I gonna go buy? You know, I'm frugal, so I was like, yeah, I'll just bring a little headphone. I had a little headphone jack to the record player, and just sit there with a stack of records, and people would just see me there, and just like look at me like odd.
Yeah, like what is this guy doing?
They're like thought that the record my record player was for sale. Like, how much for that? And like they really would come. I'm trying to get down and
you're like in your
so
zone,
many records,
yeah.
like, and I was like, huh, like, how much for that record player? I'm like, no, it's not for sale.
Yeah.
And that's why I had to write it on there, not for sale.
Yeah.
So, but it was fun. I had found so many records there. Like there was this record shop, particularly by Belmont and like Keating. I forgot where it was. It was Salvation Army. And I just remember being there, and there were so many like records, and that it's not even there no more. But I remember being there and just piled up with records and being leg cramps from sitting down for so long. It was fun though. And then doing some 2-for-1s, like, you know, sneaking a couple. 2-for-1s.
And the special kind. You went to San Diego, and you even went vinyl shopping there too at Junkies record store.
I like when I go to visit places. I like to check out graffiti art, their hip hop scene. I'll scour for their hip hop scene, but now it's different, you know, like more or hip hop concerts or but records definitely. And now everything is online. It's crazy. Like, so I'll tell you straight up, there's no shame in my game. I'll just take a picture of the cover and see if I can find it online and just rip it from YouTube. Straight up. Now we live in that world.
We live in that era.
I paid my dues though.
You did.
I paid my dues.
You was sitting there for hours in those record stores. Okay? You paid your dues.
Yeah.
For sure. Chapter 7. We already discussed this. The battling outside of the venues, the 606 open mics. Mm-hmm. You brought remixes to these open mics.
Oh, yeah.
That part we didn't touch base on.
Yeah. Oh man. So I'm going to talk about that, but also a missing fact about the freestyling. I used to think I was really good at freestyling.
Oh no.
And then, but egos get checked. Egos get checked at the door, and my ego got checked many times. I thought I was better than I was, and you know, so I got checked many times. So it made me step up. You know, the more I did it. This is the time that I started doing 2 things I used to do. I don't know if I talked about it in my bio, but I used to grab a lot of videos, like hip hop videos, and at the time YouTube was barely coming. It hadn't even been out yet, and so I used to find hip hop videos. Like back in the day, I used to go. This is another fact. I used to go get out of school and run back home around high school, and wait for Rap City. Rap City with Joe Claire. He was the best host. Okay. Oh okay. So
Rap City.
And then
I love Rap City.
And then so I used to wait. You know, you didn't know what song was gonna come, which video was gonna come out next. So again, the recording with the VCR.
Yeah.
And then I used to come up and compile these great VHS hip hop videos, you know, waiting for the next one to come out, or they had the box waiting for that one. Artifacts, Wrong Side of the Tracks to come out, because that was the dopest video at the time with graffiti and all that. The nonce mixtapes, all that stuff. I wanted all of it and just compiled into bangers on a VCR of hip hop videos. So I first started doing hip hop. Once I found out, like, oh, you could get hip hop videos from the internet. Oh, you know, and like a 56K ain't gonna cut it. You know, I need high speed internet. Somehow I'd sit there all night and let the video download. It took maybe 3 days to get one song, one video. It was a lot of work.
Yeah, I remember I came up during the LimeWire days.
Yeah, LimeWire. Yeah.
I downloaded some albums and things, and sometimes you literally would just leave it overnight. Because and it would take you hours to even find like the right link. Yeah. And then just cross your fingers that when you download it, it's still the right thing.
The kids never know. Don't know the struggle.
So spoiled now. Yeah. Jeez. That just took me back the LimeWire days.
Yeah. Napster. Yeah.
Napster.
Yeah. I was there for the birth. That was the best. Those were Napster some good times.
I think I started with LimeWire, so
yeah. But it's still
around the same time. Yeah.
So I used to download these hip hop videos, and then once I found out that you could burn DVDs, and I learned how to burn DVDs. I used to hustle. I used to bring these compile these DVDs, epic videos. I forgot what I was calling them. And I go to Sub T's and pop these things off. Shout out to Verbal Kent. He was like, yo, this is a great idea, but the packaging needs to be better. And I was like, no, man, I don't care. I'm just popping these videos off. I'd go to concerts. A Tribe Called Quest was performing at the Congress. I sold a lot of DVDs that day. Shout out to everybody who bought a DVD for me that day. It was great. It was just fun times. It was, again, like I have great ideas, and then just following through. A lot of us have great ideas once you follow through on them. I think the follow through is the toughest thing, and for how long you can follow through is the testimony of of who you truly are. So then that kind of like played its course, and then I would just make beats and then start doing these remixes, with finding the acapella records that I had and just compiling them into blend them, and then I'd be selling the remixes. I'm like, yo, you heard this song, but you ain't never heard it like this.
You haven't heard this version.
Yeah. So I think at the time I was doing both, and so all hand pile, artwork done by me. I think Skull might have done a couple for me of the artwork. So shout out Skull CMW too. He did a couple artwork covers for me. But yeah, primarily just getting down like that, Yeah, it was fun, and popping it off at the time. Yeah. It was fun.
Good times.
It was fun. It ran its course.
Like everything in life sometimes. Well, a lot of things in life run their course. Chapter 8. This is a big chapter. Okay. Because this is when you became a father.
Oh, yeah.
And everything changed for you. Like, you wanted to be different than your dad. You wanted to kind of like... I think in my notes I put that you like resented your dad at first. Or like you kind of were... There was like some animosity, right? And then I guess when you had your son, you were like, no, I'm going to break like these generational curses kind of thing. So yeah, this is a big chapter because your son is a major part of your life.
Shout out to little Epik. All right. He has other names, but he says in public, call him little Epik. Little Epik. Okay. Little Epik. Okay. He's not so little anymore.
No, he's in his 20s, right?
Yeah, he's 20 now. He just had his birthday in November. Him and my dad almost have the same birthday. My dad was born November 9th. Okay. He was born on the 10th.
Wow.
So he missed it by 3 hours, which I think is a sign from God. You know what I'm saying? Because, after I grew up with my father, I don't mind talking about this.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how much you wanted to get into
my dad, I grew up in a very abusive, household. And so you didn't do good in school, you got an ass whooping. And a lot of other things, just ass whoopings just came a regular thing. And at the time, now that I'm older, I realize, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He had it worse than me, and when I had him, the Epik, I was just like, I'm not gonna hit him. I'm not gonna hit him.
Yeah.
I haven't hit him, I might have shook him now. No, I never did that. No, but where it is like still the cycle that I was talking about that is about alcohol and marijuana abuse.
Yeah.
My father, he still hasn't gotten help for it, and I never thought I'd get help for it. So I ended up getting help for it. Just how things happen in life. To help a friend, I ended up helping me, and I got into the 12-step program.
Yeah.
And but at the time when my son was born, I was still heavily, smoking weed and drinking around him. It wasn't until later.
You were selling weed too at this time.
I was selling weed. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's primarily like it gave me the flexibility to not work so much, and I could smoke weed and do music as much as possible.
Yeah.
And so yeah, marijuana and my dad's side of the family, it even stems from his dad. Like my grandfather smoked weed and drank heavily too, so it's genetic. Like J. Rue has a line, he says, "Ask my pops, it's genetic. That's why I'm a weed head and not an alcoholic." But for us, it's both.
It's both.
It's
yeah.
both, you know. And and it runs in the family, I'll tell you like that.
Yeah.
There's more members of my family that do carry this gene. And I told my son, you know, afterwards, when he was about 13, my sobriety date currently is it's coming up. Anniversary, February 4th, Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, 7 years.
2018. Right? I'm gonna have 7 years.
Yeah.
Man, you're really good. So yeah, I'm gonna. But I remember telling him, like, I remember looking at his face and being like, you know what? I gotta tell you, he was like 13 at the time, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've been selling weed this whole time throughout your whole life. And he was like, what? You know, like,
yeah,
like, and I had to tell him these things, you know, like, and I knew at that point there was no turning back. I had a breakthrough moment in my sobriety where the reason I stopped smoking weed is because I was coughing up a lot of resin, and I was feeling heart pain. I was feeling a lot of health damaging effects, and with alcohol too, my liver. I wake up like grabbing my stomach, and I just knew I was one foot in the grave.
Yeah,
I had 1 foot in the grave, and so like I just said to God, you know, like, if you could cure me, you know, I'm gonna stop, because I had a feeling that said that if I continue on this way, I'm poisoning his people, and I just said, deal, anything to live. So I took it really serious this time, because I had 8 months prior to that, and then, or 6 months prior to that, and then I had 8 months back out there, and then my new sobriety date, you know. But it's like we say in the program, you know, it's just for today. I can't, and I'll say it on camera in front of everybody, nobody's guaranteed in sobriety to be sober tomorrow. It's just for today. Just for today. I don't have the desire to smoke weed or drink. Yeah. You know, I just really zoned in on it, started making a lot of meetings, and took it really serious, and it became a pivotal part of my life. Yeah. And so that's how I feel. Like I told my son, you could do a lot of things, but smoking weed and drinking, and like, you just can't do those things. Like that's one thing that you just can't do successfully. Yeah. Those things. Yeah. You know, it's not even like dad being like overprotective. It's like, no, like, look at the history. Yeah. Like, you know, it's not. I call it my last name, the Oropesa curse. Yeah. It's a curse. It's really like a curse in a family. And like, you could, and so he knows now. He's a good kid, you know, and I don't think he has the desire to drink or smoke weed, which is great. That's good. That is definitely good. I like this quote that you said, or that you posted somewhere. I get high from the most high, and the best part, it's free, and the feeling lasts longer. Yep. And the plug, you know, you don't have to go wait for the plug. You know, waiting for the plug, like, when is it coming? Yeah. You know how many anxiety, you know, that I got from that. You know, people calling me, I need this now, you know, or, you know, be on the buyer side, man. Come on, man, hurry up, you know. I'll go, you know. So, yeah, there's a statement in the program. It goes, I'll just use AA, for example, but I'm a part of Marijuana Anonymous, and I'm a part of Alcoholics Anonymous. And there's a saying that I learned in AA. It goes, God brought me to AA, and AA brought me closer to God. Okay. You see what I'm saying? So that's really what happened to me. God was protecting me the whole time. And, you know, he knew my purpose in life when I was messing up real bad. a couple DUIs.
Yeah, I had a car accident
I had
too.
car accidents that more than once, and blatantly, you know, you think that anybody gets into a car accident from drinking, you start thinking that, okay, that's it. You know, you have a drinking problem, but not me. I just thought I had bad luck.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
I'm gonna be smarter about it next time. The signs were right in front of my face. It was more easier for me to accept that I was a pothead than I was
alcoholic.
Than I was an alcoholic. Yeah.
And I think maybe during that time period too, alcohol, well, I think even now alcohol is more like socially acceptable as opposed to like weed. Weed is still like, especially back then, it was very much like, oh my gosh. Now, they're legalizing it and stuff like that and more normalizing it. But I think alcohol is just like, oh, well, it's just things that you do with your friends or when you're out or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So I think also that like the way the public in general views it could also be a contributing factor to why you don't take it seriously, because you're like, well, everybody gets drunk and everybody has drunk nights and you know, so I think that's also something that a lot of people don't consider, so that it might be why it takes a little longer to realize, like,
and so I would easily admit I was a pothead more than I was an alcoholic. So, and you just reminded me back in Mexico when I would go visit, like you smoke weed, that's bad, you know. But I had an uncle that died of alcoholism. You know what I'm saying? And so in reality, like it was really shunned in my culture, you know, being, and especially in Mexico, like, but cocaine is all right, you know what I'm saying? But the smoking weed
is fine.
Yeah. But smoking
Do
weed,
all the coke you want.
Yeah, but smoking weed,
not
weed. No, that's not good. Yeah,
that's
but
crazy.
it's different. It's different now. It's all legalized.
Yeah.
I got arrested for small possessions, you know, and then, but luckily, you know, God was watching over me the whole time. And reality is, I remember being in a program, like, I got caught with a little gram and then they sent me to drug school, and I was like, look, they're all hunting us, you know, in the minority neighborhoods. And we're all here, look around, we're all minorities. They're hunting us down in the neighborhoods. But now as I got older and realized nobody put a gun to my head and said, hey, go sell that weed. Nobody put a gun to me and said, yo, go get that, go drive drunk. You know what I'm saying? Those were my decisions that I went through. Yeah.
This chapter wasn't all, you know, somber-ish, right?
No,
you also started learning audio engineering during this time period, I think. And then you had like a mobile studio recording services.
So.
And you still do audio engineering.
Yeah, I still do audio engineering. It's still something, audio engineering is something that I don't think that you could ever like fully get everything in. There's so much stuff always changing. But I started messing around. I started off with Cool Edit, which is now Adobe Audition. It used to be called Cool Edit back in the day. And that's a program everybody used to rip, at least in my circle. and then, so I used to do all my mixes through there. And then once Pro Tools started becoming more available for your home through the M boxes, shout out to Boar from X-Men, you know, give him a little box and, you know, interface. And then I started using Pro Tools, you know, kind of learned that, but still like just enough to get by. And then by the time I did Epik 1.2, like second album, I started getting more serious, started paying more attention to the
engineering
aspect sides of it. Although I could get away with it, I only like, how do I do this and how do I do that? But to really make your stuff quality audio, it took time. But again, I didn't want to pay anybody. Everything that I've done as far as is because I don't want to pay nobody and I don't want to wait on nobody. So
the waiting part,
the waiting and paying are just like not in my thing.
I'm impatient. That's why I do everything myself.
And I'm impatient.
I'm impatient. I'm like, I could do that so much faster. Like, I'm like, I want this like now. Like when I tell you like, I want this, I mean like, I want it yesterday.
Yeah, that's one of my sayings. I told her she's the female version of me.
I want it yesterday. So I that's why I think I've learned so many things is because I'm like, now I gotta find people and then wait on them, and I'm like, I don't like to wait on nobody.
The mobile recording studio came later on, like, and it's still, if anybody does want that service, hit me up. You know, mobile recording is available, but in reality, I had music studios that I would work out of, and in reality, once I stopped smoking weed, I didn't need them anymore, because you can't smoking weed at your house or your apartment or wherever I was, used to piss off people because of how much I smoked weed. So I used to have to have music studios just to smoke weed and be able to do my music, you know. So yeah, so that's why I had them. And then after that, I'm like, I don't need it anymore. And reality is, you know, I just feel that's an original touch, you know, a mobile recording studio that comes to you. Yeah. You know.
That's different and convenient. Chapter 9. This is Underpaid Productions, which is now the IFU crew, which we already talked about the name transition. During this time, you linked back up with LP, who he was formerly Froggy. Right? Froggy. Yeah.
It's funny because somebody just mentioned it on social media, like, yo, or TikTok. I forgot what social media platform it was. Like, yo, I knew him as Froggy, and I was like, yep. So shout out to Will from AOM crew. We used to smoke a lot of weed, and Froggy, aka P or LP, used to be with him at the time, and we'd just be graffiti artists. And just like all we did was smoke weed and get into ill shit and all types of ill shit. Shout out to Menace. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Get into all types of ill shit, and that's all we did. We used to just hang out, and then later on, I ran into him at a liquor store, and he's like, "Yo, I make beats. Can you show me how to do stuff?" Not knowing that he had a gift for it, and then everybody would look at me in my circle like, "Yo, Epik, yo, holler at him. He does the beats, and you know, he's the guy for that." So I had a reputation for that. So when I saw what he was doing, I was just impressed. And then we formed. Well, I had Underpaid Productions, and I asked him to be down. He was down. We did the first album, which is Epik 1.0. So
which we're gonna get into now. All right, so we were talking about LP before we had some technical difficulties.
It's recording.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's gone.
All right.
And I also wrote down that he like rekindled your passion for writing and recording, and then you guys like crafted a unique sound together.
Yeah, it was dope when I met LP again, and then he's like, "Yo, I call myself P." P got his name because he used to write Pleaser. That was his name. Yeah. I don't come up with these names for people, okay? So his name was Pleaser, and then so he's like, that was his name, and then I was like, when I heard his beats, I was like, "Yo, man," and I taught him how to use the MPC a little bit more, but he already kind of knew. And once I heard what he was doing, I was like, "Man, you are talented, man." And that way I could step back and don't have to make so much beats, and I could just focus on the writing. Yeah. And he had the style of beats that I was already aiming for. And so it was just like that, man. And we used to kick it all the time in my studios or his spot up on like Harlem and Belmont. I'll just tell you around there. I'm not gonna give you around there.
Know all of the details.
Northwest side though. We Northwest side. We're Northwest side heads. And so we would go and just smoke a lot of weed and just drink and make these beats. It was some great times. Or in my music studio, it was some great times. It was just I did the first video techniques, and then we did one in Clap. If you really want to see what it was like, look up the video Clap. That I did that on my iPhone. Yes. And that was all done on my iPhone, and we did that in his studio at the time. That was classic. Those
I had that written down somewhere. Yeah. So now we'll just skip it when we get there.
It's all good.
Your label, you also started the label in 1997, I believe.
Yeah, I used to work for UPS, in which he did too, without knowing about it. And it was Underpaid Productions. What Underpaid Productions means is not that we're broke, which we are broke, doing hip hop. But what it means is getting paid under the table, underpaid. We're underpaid.
Yeah.
We're getting paid under the table. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of like that. You know, that's what it means. That's what it meant at the time, and it had a connection to UPS because I worked at UPS in Franklin Park for a long time. So.
Oh, I think they recently closed that UPS.
Did they? Yeah.
Yeah, because I shipped out a few packages, and then one time I went and it was closed, and I was like, what the hell? What happened? When did this happen?
Amazon happened now.
Probably. Underpaid, you guys also did hip hop night at Moe's Tavern. Remember
Yeah,
that?
I did an event there at Moe's. I don't even think that bar's around anymore. It was on Milwaukee and like Central Park near Belmont, Diversity, somewhere around there. Because Milwaukee runs at a weird angle. So we had the Palmer Squares there, 7 Odds. It was one of the best shows, a very dope show. Then I think 7 Odds started doing shows there too. Some other people started doing shows there. And it was just a place that at the time I was living in Avondale and my boy Tony, yeah, that's how he talked. And he would go there a lot and drink. And then I just started getting cool with the owners. I'm like, hey, can I throw an event here? He's like, yeah. And that's what happened. Yeah.
Nice. So
Tony B. Shout out to Tony B. Yeah.
So we mentioned that you dropped your first album during this time with when you and LP were working together. Epik1. 1.0.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have 2.
Working on 3. Yeah.
I'm working on 3. But we're gonna talk about 1 during this chapter.
Okay. Yeah.
It had 15 songs. We're not gonna break down every single song.
Yeah.
But some that stood out to me.
Yeah.
Hip Hop 101 back in the day. I like it because it was like the history of hip hop. It was such a cool concept, and I think like anybody really entering this space can listen to that song and really just be like, oh, this is where everything really started. Like, because you cover all the bases in that one. So I liked that one. Rat Race. The line that I wrote down was, "This world is full of hatred." That I felt was like a strong message. Do you have anything to say about that specific message?
Yeah. Well, verse 1 about Rat Race is about like how I can't keep jobs and like how, you know, but verse 2 is more like, I remember driving around and I used to drive around. I have a lot of driving jobs.
Yeah.
And just sitting there, and I'd have a little notepad or pen. I just remember looking around and just driving around and looking at somebody like next to me, like let's say I pulled up next to you. Nobody cares about each other in this world. Like nobody pays attention. Everybody's in their own little world. Own little world. And that's what it kind of meant by that. Like nobody cares about anything in this, and not in the world, but in general. But it feels like that sometimes in Chicago. Like you could be living next to somebody, you know, for years. Your guy that lives next to you. Like seriously, I don't know the people that live next to me, and we've been living there for a while. Like just new people that come and go. We don't know who the new one is, you know, and we just don't know each other, you know. So that's kind of what I was relaying at, you know. Nobody really, like, and then the messed up things in the world in that one, you know, like everything. I'm just bringing darkness to light, like like this is what happens. Nobody's talking about these things. All the injustices that happen, you know, all the injustices that take place, you know, that is a rat race in itself.
I felt like I had multiple
layers.
Yes, definitely. No free beats, you said. You might have equipment, but don't have the talent. Yeah. At that time, I was just like, I didn't care. People kept asking me and P for beats, and so we just got tired of it, you know, like, we don't mind, but yo, throw something our way. Just throw something our way, you know. And so I thought it was funny. I just thought it was a cool way to just be like, you know, kind of like, you know, we can give, you know, no free beats anymore, you know. It's kind of like, this is where we put our foot down. Boundary.
But I'll be honest, I still personally, if I like you and you're cool, you know, you'll still get some freebies from me. You know,
So,
stereo tracks. If you're interested in beats, stereo tracks, might let those slide for leasing. You know, just throw me $20, $40 for a lease. But that doesn't mean it's yours. That means I could lease it to somebody,
whoever,
whoever pays that fee.
A lease is a lease.
But a stemmed out track, you know, where you could, you know, separate things, yeah, that does cost more.
Definitely. That's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Peddling music. I've been doing this rap thing for over 10 years now. The fact that I won't make it is evidently clear now. And I think you said somewhere that you pretty much just want to stay underground, or that you're pretty, not happy, but like comfortable in underground because you don't want to sell yourself. Like you don't want to like, sell who you are.
Yeah, sell out.
Sell out, there you go.
Yeah, peddling music, once I heard that sample, I cried when I heard that. It like touched me so hard. Like this is another artist that feels what I felt. He's like, I just really relate to it, and I knew that was going to be at least one of my favorite, if not my favorite song on that whole album. Yeah, I really worked really hard to fine tune that song and to get it
over and over.
Yeah, and everything that I can't say to people about the struggles of being an artist are in that song. And yeah, it's going to be like venting, and you might say, hey, who's this guy? You know, like, you know, but in reality, these are the frustrations that it is of being an artist. Yeah. And in reality, I still feel that way. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. This is not popular music. You know, I got to revisit that song actually and add it to my motivational playlist actually. Okay. Yeah. So, there we go. So yeah, definitely one song you should definitely check out if you want to, you know what at least this artist's mindset is at that time, in that particular time. Of course, I grow, but it's one of those venting songs that had to be out there, had a vent. Yeah, definitely.
Next up, Soul by the Ton. Yeah. Sorry, geez. And this was like, you did this as an homage to Common's Soul by the Pound.
Yeah, which is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah. And then there's a music video for this one. You're at the train station, you're in the car.
It was so cold that day.
Okay, I was going to ask why.
So cold. It was so cold. You could see the breath coming out of my... Yeah.
And then we get to chapter 10. But chapter 10 kind of has like a little bit of overlap.
Okay.
Because we talk about techniques and clap during this chapter too. I don't know why. It was... Yeah, there was overlap, but there is, and we're just gonna run with it.
No. Techniques was my first video.
Yeah.
Done. Shout out to George Maldonado. Yeah. And Michael Bledsoe as well. I met him at Subterranean, and I saw they were doing somebody's video. At the time, my budget wasn't great, and so they did it for the low. And he doesn't even do music videos anymore, but he did put me up on game. That's when he's like, yo, what you got to do is get yourself this camera. Yeah. And I started off on a Canon 60D and just learning how to use the camera. I remember having this thing in my hand, like, how do I do this? What do I even do with this? Yeah. You know? And then,
because you shot clap on your iPhone, and then you go to Canon, and then you're like, what?
Yeah. So first was clap. First was techniques, not done by me. Then I did clap after that, all on my iPhone at the time, and just messing around, just all experimental. But that's when I realized that I could do video editing. I was like, okay,
that's another little skill that you added to your.
I started learning how to do video editing, and then from there, I was like, okay, I can do video editing.
Yeah, video editing now.
So I might as well invest in a camera now. So that's when I got the Canon 60D and started messing with that. Shout out to 1080p videos at the time. They're still dope.
They are. No 4K back then.
Yeah.
And then this is also when you started getting shows in Chicago and St. Louis, and you started curating events. So we're going to talk about some of the shows that I found. You could talk about them, or we could skip them.
No, you can talk about them.
Okay. Okay, Rude One's album release party with DJ Third Rail. And then he played your song with Chino XL during that.
Oh no, this is recent.
This is recent.
That's recent. Yeah,
well, I didn't have a real timeline. I just found.
No, that's great. Shout out to DJ Third Rail. DJ Rude One dropped a new album and it was dope. He's in New York now, but Third Rail closed out the night, and then at the end, Third Rail spins only vinyl. So now that I had the album on vinyl, he copped it and he put that one song with Chino XL. Rest in peace, Chino XL. And it was just an honor just to hear my record at a party that I'm at unexpectedly. So
yeah, unexpected.
Yeah.
You opened up for Rakim in St. Louis, though.
I did.
How was that experience?
That was over the summer. That was we went on a family trip. It was awesome. It was pretty cool. What was fun about it is that it was special because my family was there too. You know, it was my son and my kid's mom, and we take a lot of vacation trips, and so it was cool. We just did a road trip, and shout out to the people that do this hip hop event out in St. Louis. It's called Paint Louis.
Paint Louis, yes.
Shout out to them, the organizers of the event, everybody that gets down, John Harrington, Soul to Soul, I think his name is. All those guys, they do great things. Like, it's crazy. Like, once you have organization, the things that you can do for hip hop in the community are crazy. Because I did it years back. I did it, I would say about 9 years ago. And the stage level, the production level, it wasn't what it is now.
Yeah.
And I was just so impressed on how their community of hip hop in St. Louis takes the culture serious, and they actually pulled a great big event. And yeah, to have that under my belt is something that is like a medallion or something like that.
Yeah, like a trophy, an accolade.
An accolade, yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Accolade. Night of the MCs.
Night of the MCs.
April 2022 is what I wrote down.
There's been many of them. I forget the themes of them, to be honest.
There's a lot.
There's a lot, you know. I actually got a show coming up the 31st with Shy City Cypher.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. So
I might be, I don't know if I can go to that.
No, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that happens, and I just forget the names of them. All of them. If you told me the venue, I probably have more.
Okay, yeah, because I have them written down by like for example, Thunder Rap's Hip Hop Night, stuff like that, like Halloween party. But I didn't really write down the locations. No. Besides Save More Lounge, that one I just wrote Save More Lounge because there was no theme.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Next time I'm gonna write down venues.
No. Everybody clap it up for Melly for doing a lot of hard work.
Yeah. It's a lot of hard work, guys. It's a lot. One that I do want to talk about briefly, because we're gonna get into, I have a whole segment about this later on, was the check yourself for your health at Sub T, which was like a
wow. Yeah.
That one was recent. Yeah. I know that was definitely meaningful for you. And like I said, we'll get into that. Okay. Or unless you want to do it now, and I'll just skip to my notes. But.
Okay. No. Check Yourself for Your Health was a colorectal cancer awareness event that I threw in partnership with American Cancer Society and 606. The reason that show is one of the most meaningful shows I've ever done is because of that. You know, people that I did a fundraiser for myself having colorectal cancer, and then pulling together again the Palmer Squares, good people. Those guys, to have those guys on the bill, their videos are doing millions of views, and just to have those guys on the show was a blessing for a headliner. And so shout out to the Palmer Squares, their manager, for coming through and helping out the event. Yeah. And so that was a blessing, you know, and they did it. I love their set and all the artists that came and performed as well. It was everybody, it was a very loving night, but it was sad at the same time because if you guys may or may not know, Subterranean, I've been going there since the fake ID days. I'm 46 now, and it was their last open mic night. It was the last 606 open mic night there. So little did I know that, I'm not gonna get into details, but I didn't know that was gonna be the last event, and I worked really hard. I worked really hard to get that event popping, you know. And it was cold. I forgot what it was. I think it was really cold. People just didn't want to pop out, and it was just the fact that we had people to come out on that night. Was a blessing, and it was great. It was just, but little did I know that
was like
that was the farewell, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody in 606 crew. You know who you are. I'm just gonna say 606 crew because they've done it for so many years, and all the special memories. All the special memories.
Years,
we could do another interview about all the special memories that took place there.
Yeah, that took place there. It was like such a.
But it was great. A lot of people did get awareness. They American Cancer Society gave me pamphlets to give out to people, where to get yourself checked and all that. If you want to talk about that a little bit more, we can, you know, as we go on.
Yeah, because like I said, I have a special segment, a bonus chapter, kind of.
Okay.
It's just focused
Let's
on
do that.
So that's why I just wanted to bring that up now, because that was like an event. So
yeah, that was the last event that I actually threw myself.
Yeah.
So
chapter 11. This is when we talk about No Coast. You used to help them find venues. Then you did some battles yourself. I watched them. You challenged Epik. I don't know how to say his.
Epik1.
Okay.
Or Win.
Yeah.
The energy silent.
Yeah, but I think he refused, and then agreed to a written battle or something like that.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly it.
Yeah, and then there was like, he got cold feet or something.
I got cold feet.
Or somebody got cold feet. Okay.
No, I didn't get cold feet necessarily. It's just.
And it was a Valentine's Day massacre when you guys finally.
VDM. I forgot. VDM 4. I forgot which one it was.
3 I wrote down.
3, yeah. And so I saw Epik1. I heard about this guy. He's a Vietnamese dude that lives out in Rockford. And I was like, yo, you can't just be coming here trying to rock my name. And at the time, I'll be honest, I was drinking a lot, and when I drink, I become very egotistical. Yeah. And it just depends. It just becomes like not that every time, because it just depends which monster you're gonna get out of me. But that the egotistical, and we were at Grand Bar during the event. I was like, yo, what's up? Let's go battle right now. And let's go outside. And if you beat me, bro, you could use the name. And then he was like, nah, I do written battles. And I was like, I'll battle you written, because I had been watching written battles since the conception of Jump Off and all that stuff. And so I knew I could do it. I just didn't want to put in the work to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because some people are talented that they could remember their rhymes. They could write something and then just go into the booth and spit it right there, or the next day, and they don't have to use pen and paper or pen, notes on their phone, nothing. They just remember it in their head and they spit it out. I'm not that type. I have to learn songs again, over and over. Yeah.
Like repetition is.
I knew I could write it. I knew I could write this stuff, because writing back in the day was cheating. That was cheating.
Yeah.
We used to go to battles, and that was cheating. So I'm like, oh yeah, you're asking me to cheat? Bro, no problem. But the problem is to remember all the stuff. So I agreed. I was like, whatever, let's set it up. Talk to Pompey. Shout out to Ray, DJ Pompey, and made it happen. And it happened. And first, and then when I realized how much work it was, I'm like, man, do I really want to do this? And then I kind of prolonged. We had it set for another day, and then we rescheduled for VDM, and that's when it happened. And shout out to him. I didn't like this kid at first, but now, after so many battles, my heart goes out to this guy. He actually supported me after me being a jerk to him. So shout out to Epik1. Yeah, and Am I gonna stop all the epics? No.
No.
It's an impossible battle. You know, it's a battle I can't win. Yeah. So
you also had versus Jezzy?
Jezzy.
Yeah. Okay.
Jezzy.
I
Yeah.
want to know, did you really block him on Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I
I wasn't
did.
sure if that was like an actual like
Yeah.
thing because like it was brought up during
No,
the battle.
that was, I love that battle with Jezzy.
Yes.
I really do, because
and then he brought out your album cover art too. I was like, this is wild.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That was the most personal battle I've ever got into, because we know each other. Like, it's not Epik Nguyen, I had to do research on him.
Yeah.
But when I know somebody, when we know each other, like we know each other.
Yeah.
It's like, and it was over the beef started over some stuff on social media. I forgot, he was trolling. I felt like he was trolling me. I can't say if he was or he wasn't, but I felt that way. And then I was just like, all right, you're trolling me, so you know, let's go. And then, but then I knew about the work. That was my second battle, and I knew all the work that was gonna be. No, that was my third battle. I battled Orlando Coolidge before that.
Yeah, the 7th anniversary.
That was my. But the third battle, you know, and I was like, I really don't want to do all this work because I'm not getting paid for it. You know what I'm saying? And that's something he even brought up too, that, you know, so he's very smart, and it was that time. But you talking about, you know, starting up, you know, beef on the internet, on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, people were coming in. I forgot the comment under what thread. I forgot, everybody was coming in, and I saw everybody was like, I don't like this Epik guy. And I was like, oh man, y'all really think this guy's gonna whoop me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all really do think that? You know, let's set it up. Again, we set it up, and you know, it was, now that I look back at it, you know, every battle I've done, of course, I think I won.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's to the viewer, you know, the viewers now, you know, there's no judges anymore. Everybody leaves comments. Everybody could start committees, and
it's crazy, you know, now.
Like, So, but it was one of my favorite battles, because at the end we clap it up, like it's like a boxing match, and at the end we just gave each other props, and that's the best thing, because you know what, in Chicago hip hop, you know, a lot of people talk crap behind. I'm not gonna say a lot of people. Some people, you know, might have disagreements, and they'll just, you know, not bring it into the light. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We brought it into the light, and we did something about it. Yeah. He's a man. That's a man move on both of our parts. And at the end, yo, like, two talented artists got together, and we make music, but at the end, like, we got together and we actually said, let's duke it out. Yeah. And we duked it out.
And you guys definitely duked it out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was...
Yeah. If you like Star Wars, you know, he loves Star Wars. That's where he got his name, Jedi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
So,
I see.
I already had that trick up my sleeve, and so, and he knew my style.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Now the bars are coming to me.
So it was great. It was one of my favorite battles. So shout out to Jezzy. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you did, well, we mentioned Orlando Coolidge. I didn't have really too many notes on that one. But Piff Jones? Yeah. Miss Good Bars?
Mr. Good Bars, yeah.
Mr. Good Bars, yeah.
Yeah.
Sam I Am hosted this one, which I thought that was really cool. I was laughing.
What?
Because you brought out props.
Yeah.
You brought out a Payday, 100 grand, a Butterfinger, and my favorite, a Three Musketeers.
Three Musketeers.
Three Musketeers. So I had to bring you your own Three Musketeers.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so funny. Like, bringing out all of the different ones. Where did you come up with the idea? Because I know, obviously, like, his name Good Bar. So, you know, so it kind of like spirals into...
This is a great story. Yeah, I'll make it as quick as possible. Shout out to Billy from Bill Blaze from ECCM, East Coast Connection Media, and which is now No Coast Battles, or they teamed up with them, but at the time they were doing his own thing. And I met him through No Coast. He battled with them, and then he was doing stuff in Boston. So I just wanted to fly out to Boston and do something. And he set a battle up with me and this guy, Mr. Goodbars. But Mr. Goodbars didn't show up for his own battle against me.
Yeah.
You know, so this guy Piff Jones, who was supposed to battle somebody else, I forgot his name, and he didn't show up for his battle. And what's crazy is that his opponent, Piff Jones' opponent, was some Hispanic dude, and I'm Hispanic. And then I'm praying really hard at the time because I would sacrifice so much time, you know, preparation,
and, all of that,
And it's like, you know what we'll do? We'll just, you battle him, you use your bars for him, and you use your bars for him.
Oh, okay, because I was a little confused at
first. That's why
I
start off the battle. I'm like, Goodbars didn't show up to this battle, so it's starting to look much grim. But I'll take this body because it looks just like him.
Okay.
So,
okay, now
so
it makes
everybody,
sense.
I blew their mind when I said that. That was freestyle too. And I was like, you know what? Because they're both similar set people. I'm just gonna say this. You gotta watch the battle to know what I'm talking about. Okay, they look identical almost. Not really identical like that, but close enough to get away with the bars that I did. They're heavy. He was a heavy set guy, and Piff is as well. So everything still applied. I'm like, perfect, you know. So yeah, Mr. Goodbars is a candy bar. So I'm like, oh yeah. And I said the line is like this guy Goodbars raps about guns a lot. So like he's such a sad this fat F is a sad F that I even had to bring his musket tears.
Yeah.
Get it? Like his gun. He talks. A musket is a gun. So musket tears. It's a wordplay. Yeah. So, and then I said that. Watch the battle. Watch the battle.
Watch it.
Just watch the battle.
We're not gonna give you all the good stuff here. Just go watch it. Now I know the background because I was originally like, okay, I understood. I was like, okay, Goodbars didn't show up, but then I'm like, why are they using like the same, like I didn't understand what like the whole behind the scenes, I guess, of it. I was like, so now I know.
Now you know, yeah. And most people, I didn't even let that be known. So you caught something exclusive here.
Another exclusive.
Yeah.
Chapter 12. We're getting to the end. We only got a couple chapters left.
Okay.
This is around the time where you cut out heavy drinking, smoking weed, just selling weed. You were selling vacuums.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Kirby. No, this is. I talk about it in Rat Race.
And then you became an Uber driver. And then you had Uber freestyle videos.
Yeah.
They're so fun.
Yeah.
How did you decide to freestyle first in your Ubers and then decide to record it?
I started freestyling for my Uber passengers at first when I was like, just like, oh, you seem cool. Like, you seem like you're hip hop.
Yeah.
Let me show you what I could do. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. Just more like, oh, you like hip hop music? Oh, I'm Epik. You know, let me show you something. You know, I started off like that, you know. And then I started being like, after a year or two, I don't know, I forgot what time period was. I noticed that it would cheer people up. You know, I was like, yeah, you know, it cheers people up. So I'm gonna do it. And then there'd be times where I'd have bad days, and I was like, I ain't gonna do it for anybody anymore, you know. But then I realized that it's more lucrative if I'm freestyling. So I just that was a motivator. I followed Sam I Am MC's advice. Closed mouths don't get fed. That's his number one thing I've learned from Sam is that saying. So I just started implementing it every time. And I used to work sales, you know, retail as well for selling retail clothing. So I know how to sell. So believe me, you're gonna get freestyles with me. If you don't, it's very rare. You have to be a very strong character, like not to make it happen. But at the time, I would just freestyle for mostly everybody. Then I was like, I got an idea. Why don't I record them? So I would ask my passengers to record them, or I'd bring another camera to record.
Yeah.
I'd figure out how to do it, little different ways to do it.
Yeah, because I noticed like some of them were passengers, and then some of them, I think at some point you had a camera.
Yeah.
So that's
I brought in a 3-point. It was hard to research a 3-point camera system. When I like to do things professionally, I like to do them
all in
3-point camera system, you know, and then I figured out a way to do it, you know, and that's the last ones I would do right now. That's on pause, but can't wait to get back out there, hopefully in the future, and do it again.
And then you have a song, My Window, that kind of talks about being an Uber driver, how, you know, they're like, oh, go faster and break the speeding and all that stuff. And I thought it was really cool because it was also just like you kind of going into your day-to-day life of, this is my day job, like, you know. So I thought that was a really cool song. Kind of bring it all together.
That one's gonna be released on Epik 1.4 too. Like that one still hasn't been released on any album. What I do is just release a lot of singles, singles, and then you guys are getting taste. Like people ask me, when's your new album coming out? I'm like, you've been getting it this whole time. You've been getting it, you know. So I like to capitalize. That's one of the things I do. I market my music through singles, and then I'll pull together something, an album, you know, tailored for certain themes. So the Uber, My Window song, I'll be honest, that was a therapy song for me, because it's really, you know, shout out to anybody doing Uber or, you know, DoorDash or whatever it is, you know, whatever job it is that you do. You know, somebody could make a song about doing retail, why they hate it, you know, or not hate it, or their frustrations with it. And that was it. I had to get this out of my chest. And that was for me, music is therapy, you know.
Definitely.
Lyrics are therapy. I'm going to make you feel what I feel, or at least I'm going to lyrically, I'm going to try to, you know, write it so you could understand what it feels like. You know, and hopefully as a listener, you caught some of that, you know, frustration.
No, I definitely found the frustrations in it, like how you were expressing yourself. It was like almost like you were venting, but also like at the same time letting us into your daily life. The ups and the downs.
And that's why it's my window, like look into my window, you know, of life.
Literally. And then chapter 13. This was during the pandemic. This is when you released Epik 1.2.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. So I had big plans for that album.
Yeah, you even had a distribution deal from
I had
Chopped Herring Records.
Chopped Herring Records,
in Manchester, in the UK.
Yeah, shout out to Bob Lippage and Chopped Herring Records.
And then you made these like little USB keychain things. Keychain?
Yeah.
Necklaces? Something like that. Yeah.
Well, for the album release, it was going to be at Sub T's, and I was going to have so Epik 1.0 is just Epik 1.0. Then Epik 1.2 is called featured support. It's like operating systems. You know what I'm saying? Epik 1.3. Wait, it's gonna have a cool name. It's gonna be Epik 1.3, but it's gonna have a subtitle name to it. And so that one, the pandemic hit. I had a star-studded, well, at least for me, like underground legends. I had Wordsworth ready to come out. I had Quest the Mad Lad ready to come out, which is also on the album.
You had a lot of
and later on, I had Chino XL. None of this stuff took place. Well, the pandemic hit. Quest. I lost money because of that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people lost money because of the pandemic. You know. But that's one of the things that really was heartbreaking about that, because I had their plane flights booked. I had the date set, everything set. Then the pandemic hit. I wanted to make this big, because I had a lot of artists that I grew up, really respecting a lot, like that I look up to, copyright.
Copyright,
man.
On Midwest League.
There was just so many, and just to be able to know that I got these guys, and the album itself, Epik 1.2, is like if you like underground hip hop, it is like a concert. It's like you like artists like this, you know, and not only that, I'll tell you this, like to pay people for features or whatever, your favorite artists or people like that, it's cool that you could get somebody that has some kind of like established, you know, support fam, or, you know, that you actually like lyricists that are very respectable lyricists.
Yeah.
But the problem is, you know, how well can you rap with these guys? Because they're good. And the hardest challenge was, man, Quest is one of the best freestyle rappers in the world, and what he wrote was amazing, you know. And to give shout out to Quest the Mad Lad, you know, we built a friendship and it was great. And Copyright is just one of the most insane off the wall punchline rappers, and I like punchlines a lot. Yeah,
and so definitely lots of punchlines in that one.
So I had to match that, but the hardest one out of all of them was Chino XL. Chino XL was just wow. That dude was incredible, or still his records hold up to be incredible in my opinion. And just to match that intensity, I think you guys don't know, you know, scrapping a lot of lines that, you know, would be good, but they just didn't make the cut, you know, ultimately. And this guy's just writing bars like that effortlessly, and I'm over here
wrecking your brain,
wrecking my brain. Yeah, exactly.
Doing your research.
Yeah, so, but yeah, then I did the USB keychains for that, which I invested a lot in this album. I wanted this album, and I'm really proud of the album still. I think it still holds weight. And then Bob hit me up from Chopped Herring Records. I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, no, for sure.
He's like, yo, you know who I am? I'm like, no, I don't know who you are. You know, it's like, ask Quest. And then I went, asked Quest. He's like, yo, this guy's legit. After Quest told me that, I was like, all right, cool, let's do it then. And it wasn't more so about, it was just a distribution deal. It wasn't more about that. It was more that that record was gonna be put in the right hands. Yeah. You know, and so the fact that he put it in the right people's hands, I noticed my European base kind of like people started, shout out to my people out in Paris, you know, they started really supporting, you know what I'm saying? And in Ireland and other places, you know, so that was dope. It was really dope. It was a good opportunity.
No, definitely.
And the quality was, it was a blessing. It was a blessing in disguise over all the stuff. That was a silver lining. That was a silver lining in all that happened.
I'm gonna bring up a couple tracks. I mean, we kind of just did bring up some tracks, but I'll bring up some other ones that kind of stood out to me. Shy to New York, because I think you filmed this in New York. Yeah. That you included both skylines and like aerial shots, and then I heard some scratching. Was that you scratching? Okay, I thought it was. Sign on the Dotted Line. Yeah. Whoa. That song I feel is so powerful because it talks about like getting a deal and like the corruption of the industry, like and like about staying independent. And then you did this one with Sam I Am and LP. Yeah. That one, that one stood. I definitely listened to that one multiple times because I think it's a very strong message for just all artists in general. For me, that was my take on that song. So I hope I got the message right. Real hip hop with Lyric Versatile, who's supposed to come to the couch eventually. He says he's just not ready yet. Okay.
That sounds something that Lyric would say.
Yeah, he says he says he's not ready. I'm like, all right, well, I'll save you a spot for when you are ready. I bring it up because you have a music video, and your son was the cameraman for this music video. Yes, he was. How was that experience, like, kind of having your son come into your world?
Man, he actually, you asked my son which is his favorite song, he's gonna tell you Real Hip Hop. And it's not even because he was the cameraman. He just really likes the song. Yes. And the fact that he ended up being the cameraman, I was like, we went to a White Sox game that day. And I was like, look, man, you're going to have to be a cameraman. Like, here. And I had a Osmo stabilizer for the phone. I did that on the iPhone. And I was like, you're gonna have to use this, and he did a great job.
Yeah,
actually.
no, definitely.
He did amazing. He actually, he helped me out a lot with it. So props to him. And he's very shy, so to get him out of his comfort zone was just amazing. It was an amazing thing to get him out of it, you know, for that particular moment. And it came out great. I did the video editing myself, and
I like the vinyls part where you have like the vinyls that match the like the lyrics. That was my favorite part of the video, like because you have a lot of cool stuff, you know, like the train tracks, you're in the alley, stuff like that, like breakdancing. But the vinyl part, that was my favorite part of the whole video, honestly. Yeah,
there's some songs of hip hop where they pay montage to their favorite artists. Yeah, but I was just doing wordplay with, like, I'm in an atmosphere. I see a black moon, a black star. I can't see. It's pitch black up in the bathroom. All that is already, there's a group called Pitch Black, Black Moon, you know, and atmosphere, you know, and just taking all this and how can I wordplay it all together and formulate something like that. But somebody who doesn't know about these hip hop groups, you know, Black Sheep, you know, like they're gonna be like, what is he talking about? But when you see the album cover, you know, then it hits.
It's like a visual representation.
It's like, oh, okay, that's what he's talking about. Well, if you're, you know, if you could catch it, you know.
Yeah. And then Pen Game with Sam I Am, who has visited the couch before. I think this one wasn't that long ago. Maybe? No. I don't know. But you guys were at a park. You had like the back and forth delivery, which I thought was super cool. Yeah, I just like the back and forth because, like, I think one of you guys would do a couple bars and somebody else would do a couple bars, like, and I was like, okay, that's different. Like, how did you guys record that? Oh,
yeah. So, well, first we had Pen Game. Shout out to Sam. I am the MC. You gotta say his whole name.
You gotta say the whole name.
Yeah. So we had Signed the Dotted Line, and then it was cool, but I just thought it wasn't a performance track. And I was like, yo, we got to get back and we got to make a song that, you know, when we perform it, that people are going to really see the skills. And then I like this group called the Booze Brothers. And I was like, yo, I saw they did a lot of back and forth stuff. And I was like, yo, let's try this particular style, going back and forth, two bars, do. You know, there's people like that have done more complicated stuff, but I was just like, so we went to his house and we just played the beat. By the way, that beat that I did for Pen Game, that, remember I told you about going back and looking for records? Yeah, that was one of the records that I found at the thrift stores.
Oh, wow.
And then I actually shopped. I used to work with Board, and we used to work out of Lions Den Studios, and one day Raekwon was there, from Wu-Tang, and he was recording some stuff, you know, there. They paid him, you know, to come and record something for somebody's album, but they were working on my song. You were tracking out that beat in another studio room, and he heard that, and he's like, yo, whose beat is that? And then they called me, yo, Raekwon wants your beat. And I was like, what? Like, yo, give it to him. Yeah, just give it to him, right? But later on, I never heard what happened with that beat. You know what I'm saying? This is another exclusive story you get here. And so I never knew what happened to it. And I was like, yo, this beat is too fire to be sitting on. And I told Sam, I remember I brought it to Sam. He's like, I don't know, man. Sam loves the impression I do of him. Oh no, man. You know, so but afterwards he's like, yo, this is good. I'm like, yo, this is a beat Raekwon wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this doesn't do it, I don't know what will. Yeah. So we just went to his house. He was living on the north side at the time, and just sat there, and it was easy writing with Sam. It was easy back and forth. It was easy writing back and forth. And Pen Game is like, yo, we're nice freestyling, but what we write though is like pen game or pen style. Yeah. And so the first verse is 2 bar, 2 bar, 2 bar trade off, and then the next 16 that follow are 4 bar, 4 bar trade offs, and then even with the chorus, hit him with a shot, going buck with the best thing, kill him off the top, game. You know what I'm saying? So we just did that intentionally, so it would be trade offs. So I knew that when we perform it, it's gonna have this certain energy to it, like, and then it's like da da da. So I think that's a great song to perform. I don't know how it translates well, but again, that was on the iPhone, and when we recorded it, some of his SAK brothers were there, the SAK brothers.
The SAK crew, yeah.
And so they actually helped, and it's not hard to grab an iPhone on a gimbal and just start recording. And so they helped out too.
Yeah. So chapter 4, which is your outro, not my outro, it's your outro. You just kind of left us with a quote. My music is for the people who appreciate the artistry and skill that goes into creating the true underground hip hop.
Yeah.
So I think that was a great way to end your bio. But I have a couple of chapters I want to add to your story.
Okay.
Fight. This is the Melly Starz additional chapter, because this is a song about cancer. You have stage 3, or I'm not sure where you are with it now. So I kind of wanted to just give you this space to talk about it however you want to talk about it and address it without me notes or anything.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Because I know this is important.
Yeah, I'm an open book, and the song Fight, a lot of artists, like I was explaining, a lot of artists don't open up a lot of things. And for me, for some reason, I believe everything is in God's plan. And first I'll talk about how I got diagnosed with colorectal cancer. In the summer of 2023, I was constipated for like 5 days or so, and I was like, this is not natural. This is not normal. Something's going on here. And I had talked to I went to my doctor, and they had me get a Cologuard test. But prior to this, though, like maybe I'd say a year or two before that, I went to, my poop looked abnormal, and I took pictures of it and I sent it. And when I saw it, I had to see my primary care doctor at the time, and I showed it to him, and he's like, "Oh, you're fine. This is nothing." Just think about it, for somebody to bring you a picture of your poop picture.
It's not something people aren't just taking pictures of their poop.
And I was just like, okay, well, you're the doctor. You know what's up.
You're supposed to know,
You know what's up. So years go by, like maybe a year or two, and I felt constipated, and then made a visit with my doctor, and then they had me take the Cologuard test. And it came out abnormal. So when that happens, you get a colonoscopy. That's the next procedure. Got a colonoscopy. They knock you out. By the way, the colorectal cancer awareness event, check yourself for your health, was a very important thing, because having told that you have colorectal cancer is something that is scary. Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of the most, I'll never forget moments of my life. And the thing is, it's now, after knowledge of it, of how this disease works, if I could go back and try to get a second opinion from the doctor, I don't want, as a man, I don't want this stuff, because I think that they're going to shove a finger up my butt, and be violated in some sort of way. Like, that's really the scare of it. For me, it was. So I was like, oh, I don't have to get any fingers up my butt. You say you're fine. You know, okay, cool. Then I'm fine. But reality is I should have got a second opinion, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, but the point is that what I'm trying to say is that the technology that we have for colorectal cancer screening is so advanced that they're going to put you, if you're worried about that in particular, don't be. You're going to be put to sleep. You're not going to feel anything. And it's better to know ahead of time, because the way somebody that you get colorectal cancer or colon cancer or rectal cancer, there's a thing called polyps. They're like little zits or things like that form in your colon system. And through a colonoscopy, they could go in with the camera and zap them out right then and there, because these polyps are what turns into tumors, cancerous tumors, if you let too much time go by.
Yeah. So the earlier, the
and
better.
So,
more options.
So there's levels to colon cancer, colorectal, or rectal cancer. Level 1 is you have like a bigger polyp, you know. Level 2 is you know, the size of it, you know, it increases. That's mine was a 3-inch mass. That's big mass.
That is huge. Yeah.
And level 4 is when it breaks through the wall. So you know, that's when cancer infects the rest of your body. It starts breaking down to other, you know, your liver, your other it can infect other areas. So I was on the cusp of that.
Wow.
Yeah. They caught me at level 3. And, you know, when I got news of that, it was shattering, you know. And so then next, you have to start cancer treatment. You have to do this. You have to get, I had no clue what I was in for, but just put one foot in front of the other. This is the steps that I got to take. This is what I'm going to do. And I approached it in a way of holistic and medicine. I used both.
Yeah.
I couldn't take a chance at either or. I'm going to use the best of the both, you know, get cancer treatment. And I started seeing this artist, this DJ I know, DJ Misak. He reached out to me. He has Chicago or Chicago herbs. I forgot. I can't think about it right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he reached out to me, and I started taking his supplement pills and some stuff. And I believe that a lot of that stuff really helped me out.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, you don't need this. He was very firm on me. Like, you don't need what the medicine, what I'm going to give you is going to clear you up. So if anybody does need that information, inbox me and I'll put you in touch. So I did that, and I believe that people's prayers as well was big instrument. I think God hears prayers big time. And then I went through radiation, and then I went through chemo. And the radiation this is the hardest part about the whole thing. There's all of it's hard.
Yeah.
But the radiation effect, I had radiation damage. I believe it's called radiation proctitis. And then it's like damage because they're burning your whole area. There's no, they could pinpoint this spot. No, everything's getting fried in that area. Let's say it's my finger, this whole section is getting fried, or wherever it's at, you know, that section's. At first I was like, oh, this is nothing. You don't feel anything. But later on, you start feeling, everybody gets different levels of radiation, you know, depending where, how, and how much, you know, where it's at. I thought it wasn't bad. And then trouble, you know, using the bathroom. It was painful. Yeah. So that was a challenge. Still, I have effects from chemo. Like, I have neuropathy. Like, I can't feel my fingers. Like, it feels tingly, numb, and on my toes too. You know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it goes away. I have an appointment for that to look at that through a neurologist. That's other things coming up. I'm getting a little ahead, but thank God first that I was able to. At first, I didn't want to tell anybody.
Yeah,
This is something
hard,
this is something that you don't want to tell nobody. You feel. There's no words to describe this feeling, but I could understand why people wouldn't tell anybody. And then I just decided, as I'm sitting there, I had a lot of damage after the first colonoscopy. After the colonoscopy, I had caught this high fever, and I went to the doctor. I went to the ER because it was just terrible. It was something that it was just terrible, and they had to hospitalize me. And then I'm sitting there at the hospital, and I'm like, and they had me there for a couple of days, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have to do a social media post about this. Once I just put it, I have colorectal cancer. Everybody, it almost makes me kind of choke up. Just everybody came in and poured their love out, and as an artist, you feel like ignored. At least I feel ignored. Like, oh, that's another post about this. But this one, I didn't realize how much people really cared. You start feeling as an artist that people just don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't care about you,
especially about you as a person.
But then when it hit, like, no, people really, they care about me more than my music, really. So then it was like it's public now.
Now everybody knows.
Everybody knows, and so I started receiving treatment and started doing little videos like, this is my journey.
Yeah.
This is my journey. This was going on. This was happening, and I haven't done any as of recent because as of now, what used to be a 3-inch mass is now a scar.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's, I credit that first to God. He puts the right people in my life for a reason. He put, the prayers. He heard the prayers of the people. And I still I'm not cancer free.
Yeah.
I'm on what they call watch and wait. So what that means is that I have to get like checked every 3 months and make sure that there's nothing's growing, nothing.
Just watching it.
Just watching it, yeah. Because I was due to, if it wasn't for that, I would have had to get an operation where they cut your colon, and take out the part that's infected, and restitch you, and then have a colostomy bag. And I really didn't want that.
Yikes,
I really didn't want that. But anybody going through that, and my heart goes out to you. It's a scary thing. And so God is so good that I avoided that. As of the moment, I'm avoiding that, so I can't say what the future will hold. But so I realized by going through church, that I go to 2 churches. I go to Catholic church at Holy Rosary. I invite you guys to come out Saturday, 4 p.m., 612 Northwestern. And I also go to Willow Creek Community Church out in South Barrington. And, I asked for prayers, and afterwards they prayed for me. And I remember this lady that prayed for me said, your life is going to be a testimony. And I said, and so it was like, how can I use this to be a testimony to God's greatness? So that, so through music, obviously. Yeah. So I did the song Fight. And if you want to know what it's like in my cancer journey, just listen to Fight.
Yeah, pretty much.
It tells you everything what had happened to me. what it feels like. And so and in the end, the last bar is like, it's like, my life is just a testimony to give him the glory. So to give God the glory. And the verse that carried me out through it was Psalm 23. Even though I walk through the shadow of the valley of death, the Lord and staff comfort me. So like, just knowing whatever way, whatever outcome would have came from it, God got my back. God got my back. You know, so I start off with Psalm 23, then I finish off Psalm 23 at the end of the song. So yeah, I did that. I didn't get to shoot a music video for it because I had a lot of stuff going on. Who knows? You never know with me. I might.
Yeah,
I
there might be.
I might still do it. But yeah, it was. I was thinking about doing a next song for that, like to promote people to get checked for about colorectal cancer. You know, get yourself checked. You know, a song to promote people to get screenings, because again, if I would have got screened probably sooner, I probably would have had
more options
available. Yeah. So and the funny thing is that, or the messed up thing is that, you're like, you're too young. Yeah. Sometimes you have to advocate for yourself, and if you don't feel something's right with your body like that, ask for a second opinion. You know, third opinion if you need
Fourth opinion.
Yeah. So you know, for real. Yeah. You know. So, but if you're definitely, in my opinion, if you're 40, get yourself checked. Go get yourself checked and avoid a lot of drama that could happen. They could just burn out these polyps. You don't have to worry about it for a couple years. Yeah. And it's that simple. So the song Fight was me saying to God, like, thank you, and I'm going to show the world how great you are. Yeah. Yeah.
Is Fight going to be on Epik 1.3?
No, it's not.
That one's just a standalone.
Yeah, that one I produced myself. And actually, a side fact of that, one of my cancer songs like that kept me going was the song "Eye of the Tiger" from Rocky. Rocky, yeah. Like, you know, that song motivated me. Like, yeah, let's go. Give me some more radiation. Give me some more. I'm gonna just do this, you know. And it really, and so I wanted to sample the song, but what I did was I didn't want to use the song. It was too identifiable, you know, and so I just went to other covers, people that covered it. People that covered it. There was a cello band that covered it. There was somebody who did a solo piano of it, and I just took all these versions of it and mashed them up together. So when you listen to Fight, it's a bunch of different parts of it, you know, that are mashed together. It's a bunch of people that did the cover. Sense. And so that's the song Fight. Yeah.
So that is the chapter I'm adding to your autobiography. Yeah. I hope that's okay.
That's fine. It's in the book of life of my life.
Exactly.
Ultimately, it's gonna be there.
So we're gonna end off by talking about Epik 1.3 because that's coming eventually. And you said somewhere that your goals are to make Christ-conscious music. And is that kind of what we can expect with 1.3? I know you have some of the songs out, like Chasing, So Bad, So Good, Things Change, and Book of Rhymes. I'm assuming those are on 1.3.
Chasing is So Bad, So Good.
Things
Change. All those are anything that says produced by Lil P is gonna be on that.
Oh, and Body's
gonna be on there, and you're already I'm assembling the album now, and then
these songs you can already listen to.
Yeah, you can listen to it. There's gonna be a couple more songs that they're not gonna be videos for until you get the album, but at least I want at least 70-60% of it already out on videos, you know, so you could, as being that I got into doing video production myself. It's challenging still, even doing the music videos yourself and learning more cinematic stuff, how to be like, now I want to step it up still, you know, doing that stuff and just learning more and more.
Yeah.
That's really the next album is going to be all produced by LP. I actually want to get everything out. I have maybe as I'm looking, I got 3 more albums that are about due. And now I want to get all of it out. I actually want to push it out as soon as possible because I want to get to the new stuff.
Yeah.
I want to get to the new stuff. I'm like, I made people wait too long, you know, but now it's just like, I'm just going to push it out. I'll maybe push out 2 albums this year. That's my goal. Maybe 2. If I could do 3, I'll do 3, you know, but I'm going to push these things out, get them out so I can like start with the new more positive personal music. For example, there's a song that I can't wait to release called Lonely Man.
I think I saw you mention it somewhere.
Yeah, isn't that about, you know, about how I need to sacrifice things, and particularly, you know, a lot of relationships so I could just dwell more into my own goals. And it's a lonely path. Like a lot of things, a lot of more personal opening up. Chasing kind of gets into it a little bit about the things that we chase, but there's more stuff. So, but I still got some punchline songs that are old, that not old, but like that still need to be released. You could expect some still witty punchlines and clever punchlines from some stuff, and just skills all around. No matter what I'm going to give you, it's going to have boom bap to it and skills to it. So, Epik 1.3 is shaping out to be an
epic album.
Another epic album that is gonna have LP's fire production on it. The guy is talented. Yeah. And shout out to my man Nick C as well, doing some stuff with him. And he's another Underpaid production member. And this guy is pumping out 50 beats a day. He's pumping out 50 beats a day. Jeez. And 50 beats a day is crazy. Dude's crazy. He's bananas. Yeah. So he's sending me a lot of stuff. I did a song that in the future, this is stuff that I'm talking about here that you're gonna get exclusive. Song called Bulletproof, talking about gun violence. You know, okay. So it's gonna be on album exclusively for him that I'm gonna work on. That I already got like maybe 4 or 5 songs with him, so that's gonna be there. And the Epik 1.4, that's gonna be my production only. Yeah, I want to do one with just my production. So that's Epik 1.4. We'll see how it goes. But I don't know if I'll continue with the Epik 1.4, blah, blah, blah. But we'll see how it goes because I have also a lot of, like, I'm going to say it, like love songs. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of stories of you know, good and bad. You know what I'm saying? Like love stories. Like the Tribe Called Quest did an album called The Love Movement. But this is really going to be like a love novel, you know what I'm saying? Of good and bad. Good and bad.
Yeah, because love is not just one-dimensional. There's ups and downs and in-betweens.
So get ready for that too. But like I said, I'm going to try to pump out as much music as possible so I could get to those. So you guys could get to peel back the layers. But I'm sitting on a lot of music right now that is long overdue. Yeah,
so coming soon. We've made it to the end. You know, this is the time when I get my freestyle.
Of course.
Are you ready you have something? Are you ready for a freestyle?
Yeah,
are you up for a freestyle?
Yeah,
it's been a long day.
Of course.
Whenever you're ready.
Just acapella it out?
Yeah, acapella.
I like acapella freestyles. A lot of people don't. I got used to it because of the written freestyle. All right. I'm going to drop a couple bars. See, it ain't really hard. I'm going to get out this atmosphere because I'm chilling with Melly Starz. Hey. So when I turn it out, this is how it goes about. See, I'm sitting here comfortably because I'm up on Melly's couch. Yo, get the words, it's so wise. See that star? That's her. That's what it symbolizes. Yo, that's how it goes down. This ain't nothing new. So make sure you come well prepared like Melly's interview. This is what I'm giving you, so this is just me. You got Epik 1.2, but Epik 1.3 is something you can't disagree because it's produced by the homie LP. Yo, that's how it goes. I'm dropping it in the freshest ways. You know, it's like my sneakers because I keep it with J's for days. So that's how it goes off of the flow. This is what I inspect as I hit the deck. And remember what I said. If you feel any sort of way about your body, just go and get yourself checked. Yo, that's the best thing you could do for yourself. Colorectal cancer, check yourself for your health. Yo, best statement ever said. It's Epik1. I get the loot, I get the bread. But instead, let's get it clear. Let's persevere. I got more bars than these musketeers. Yo, that's how it goes off of the freestyle, something that I had to say. Yo, how I got started by listening to these guys from NWA. But now I keep it rocking. See, I've elevated from those days of vulgar rapping and got more conscious. See, but the boom bap still lives in me. They cannot see me. It's hard to beat me, but it's hard to read, but you'll understand it like looking at graffiti. So this is something I give you that might move you. This is something like a mural. Yo, it's got multicolors painted. This is how it goes when I say this. Yo, so this is adjacent. I'm underground like Melly's basement. Yo, what more do I have to say? Yo, it's Epik1, the ill spitter. You can check me out, Epik1 on the Twitter. This is how I flip it, fam. Yo, if you want to follow my rest of my jams, DJ Epik with the #1 on the Instagram, and it's a slam.
I was going to ask you to tell them where to follow you, but you already did that in your freestyle. So you guys heard it here first. Follow Epik1 at all of the places he just told us. This is your thank you card. Thank you for coming on the couch.
Thank you so much.
For sure. So now let me do my little outro. And thank you guys for tuning in. Remember to get yourself checked. If you feel something wrong, go check, get multiple opinions. Also remember to follow my sponsors, The Lot. They also have a podcast. Hit up the Ambience Beats if you guys want beats. He provides the official beats for Melly's Couch. You should also check out AG Designs, who does my graphics and my crocheted pillow. And remember to follow me at Melly Starz everywhere. Website, Twitter, Instagram, all of the things. And tune in next week because you never know who's going to show up to the couch.